Krishna. Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi Jaya Tulsi Maharani Jaya Vrinda Devi. Jaya Brinde, Jaya Brinde, Jaya Brinde, Jaya Shri Brinde. Jaya Brinde.
Vishnu Bhakti Radhe Satya Vachai Namo Namaha.
Thank you. I have in my bag. I have a little one. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vrajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana. Thank you. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada Jaya, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva, Jaya Guru Deva. Jaya Vishnupad Paramahamsa Astotara. His Divine Grace, Abhay Charanavinda Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Sri Vrindavan Ki Jai, Sri Jamuna Devi Ki Jai, Sri Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Sri Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Opagana Tirmanda Shagananjana Sharakaya Chakshuru Minitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Before we begin on our study of the Srimad Bhagavatam, I just wanted to mention that today is Odana Shashti, and that is the opposite of Vasant Panchami. But Odana Shashti is the winter season on the Vaishnava calendar, on the Vedic calendar. Odana means to cover or wrap, and Shashti refers to the 6th day of the bright fortnight of the month of Margashirsha. So tonight we're going to offer Sri Sri Radhikalakananda a special handmade garment, very cozy knitted outfit. So I've been waiting for Odana Shashti to offer new garments to the Lord. And it underscores the theme of today's class, which is time, place, and circumstance, as well as the dualities of this world. So today we're going to read from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the 10th canto, chapter 69, and it's text 31. Kurvantam vigraham kaschit Sandhim chanyatra keshavam Kutrapi saharamena Chintayantam satam shivam Kurvantam vigraham kaschit Sandhim chanyatra keshivam Kutrapi saharamena Chintayantam satam shivam Kurvantam vigraham kaschit Sandhim chanyatra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaschit sandhim chan yatra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaishchit sandhim chanyatra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaishchit sandhim chanyatra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaschit dandim chanyatra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaschit sandhim chanyatra keshivam ratmai saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam vigraham kaishchit sandhim yadratra keshivam kutrapi saharamena chintayantam satam shivam kurvantam making vigraham war kaishchit with certain persons sandhim reconciliation cha and anyatra elsewhere keshavam Lord Krishna kutra api somewhere saha together ramena with Lord Balaram chintayantam thinking satam of the saintly shivam the welfare. Translation. In one place, he was planning battles in consultation with some of his advisors, and in another place, he was making peace. Somewhere, Lord Keshava and Lord Balaram were together pondering the welfare of the pious. Please repeat. In one place, he was planning battles in consultation with some of his advisors. And in another place, he was making peace. Somewhere, Lord Keshava and Lord Balaram were together pondering the welfare of the pious. And there's no purport. I'm going to read the purports of there's two small purports of the Goswamis and then speak about this text. Srila Jiva Goswami writes, in some places he was desiring or beginning to start battles or make peace. He did such activities to bewilder even Brahma, Ka, and Shiva, Isha. Thus he is called Keshava. In some houses he was about to make war, and in some other houses he was about to make peace. Instead of anyatra, sometimes anyay is seen. He was thinking how to create auspiciousness for the Pandavas. And Sanatana Goswami texts, in some places he was desiring or beginning to start battles or make peace. He did such activities as the Supreme Lord, Keshavam. In some houses he was about to make war, and in some other houses he was about to make peace. Or he did this in one house with Balaram. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bir Krishna Das Goswami Niti Namine Namoham Sinikashaya Prabhupada Prayayate Sudrida Sudi Nisyambyam Tashavaki Navadine. So we've been reading of this whole very wondrous pastime of Narada Muni, visiting house to house to seeing what Krishna's up to in each of his 16,108 mansions, castles. And we were hearing a lot about, in the last, from Amarendra Das and His Holiness Sri Krishna Goswami, about the day-to-day, the time, the timelines of how things were going with Lord Keshava. And it also struck me, apart from the timelines, Krishna is obviously Lord Keshava. He's the supreme absolute truth. He was also, there was many dualities that were going on, as is evident in this particular verse. He was planning battles or thinking about starting a war in one house, and then in another house he was making peace. And that's the state of the world, the state of the worlds, the state of existence. There's so many dualities in existence, and even obviously we've seen over time in the Srimad Bhagavatam and Krishna's Leelas. There's so many dualities. Sometimes Krishna is very sweet seeming. Sometimes he's very naughty seeming, and sometimes he's I think of the naughty and the nice. There's always that duality going on, that juxtaposition of just over the threshold. And even with the demons, sometimes they are acting favorably, and maybe they become unfavorable through bad association or so many things. So there's always that very fine line between those dualities. And also, Jiva Goswami underscored the fact that Krishna was accomplishing such activities to bewilder even Brahma and Shiva. And what does Brahma do? Lord Brahma creates, and Lord Shiva annihilates. So there's all these constant dualities swirling in existence. And the other point was that Krishna, being Aptakama and Swarat, he really doesn't have to do anything at all, but somehow or other he's showing through his actions that in time, place, and circumstance, there's always the right thing to do in each time, place, and circumstance. And sometimes in each time, place, and circumstance, he does something that's on the opposite of what is seemingly right. If you think about Krishna planning battles, we're not thinking of Krishna planning battles so much. I mean, he, in the battle of Kurukshetra, he was trying to, of course, seemingly, he wasn't attached, but he was inducing Arjuna to do his bidding. And Arjuna wasn't really into battling, but he was actually trying. And then in other places, he would send his envoy, who is mentioned here, Lord Balaram, to try and make peace in different instances, whether it be with the gopis or just so many. We've read about so many. There's too many for me even to remember about Lord Balaram going to try to be a peacemaker, be a rectifier. And I was thinking about how many times Srila Prabhupada would mention about time, place, and circumstance being an essential point in our lives, because when we read the Bhagavatam, we're always drilling down to see what can we glean, that how can we proceed in our service, in our spiritual life, in our with our own self. How do we proceed to rectify ourselves and correct those things which are unwanted, and to make ourselves better and better and better servants of the Lord. And Prabhupada very succinctly speaks about this in many quotes. I'm going to read actually some of the quotes from Srila Prabhupada about those two essential subjects, which are actually listed as such in the Vanipedia, time, place, and circumstance, and the dualities, both essential subjects. A synopsis is, an intelligent person always acts in specific ways at different times. We have to know when to speak, act, and move at the right time. The best way to utilize our time is in the service of the Lord. We've been hearing a lot about not wasting time. We see here Krishna can do so many things in so little time. And usually when he does something for the benefit of someone in that allotted bit of time, there's generally a dozen or more other things going on in that time, so he can cover all of the bases all at once. Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee of the Lord, being cognizant of the facets of the particular time, object, and circumstances, always desires to expand the number of devotees of the Lord in various ways. Such expansions of transcendental service may appear to be material to the materialist, but factually they are expansions of the causeless mercy of the Lord toward the devotee. Plans for such activities may appear to be material activities, but they are different in potency, being engaged in the satisfaction of the transcendental senses of the Supreme. So Prabhupada is saying that Krishna uses us as his instruments to expand and to reach others. He's basically talking about the Harinam Sankirtan, the chanting of the holy names, and the outreach to try to help sharing of Krishna with everybody that you meet. He also states, even if one is a householder rather than a brahmachari, a sannyasi, or a vanaprastha, one should not endeavor very hard for religiosity, economic development, or satisfaction of the senses. Even in householder life, one should be satisfied to maintain body and soul together with whatever is available, with minimum endeavor according to place and time, by the grace of the Lord. So, he's again speaking to us about that time and place to do the right things. Sometimes we see persons endeavoring very hard, to make extra money for, particularly materialists for, a trip or a new car or those sorts of material items. And that's not really prescribed for us in spiritual life. As we make spiritual advancement, we should actually be striving to utilize every second of our lives to actually share Krishna with others, try to reach others, or to also, I'm going to say, shore up who is there with us in our midst, so we can help one another do those things according to the right time, place, and circumstance. The duty of the guru is to find the means according to the time, the circumstances, and the candidate by which one can be induced to render devotional service, which Krishna accepts from a candidate who wants to be successful in going back home, back to Godhead. The time, this is the time factor. We don't have very much time. We can all understand that our time here is quite limited. Sometimes we're shocked by someone who all of a sudden disappears, and we think, wow, they were so young. They didn't have very much time to do what they wanted. Prabhupada again, and this whole pastime is underscoring the fact that our time is not our own, actually. It's Krishna's time. We're here living on borrowed time. Krishna's giving us these bodies, our capabilities, our knowledge, skills, and abilities to be able to spread his glories. Because once we have this wonderful knowledge, there's really no way we can just brush it off and forget that, oh, right, I'm practicing this, but, it's just about me. That's when Krishna expands through the devotee to share with others. And just another one, a candidate for Krishna consciousness in the Western countries should be taught about the renunciation of material existence, but one would teach candidates from a country like India in a different way. The teacher, Acharya, has to consider time, candidate, and country. So time, circumstances, and place. When the Lord killed the gigantic demon Hiranyakshipu, he had to assume the special bodily feature of Nrsingadev. But in his Krishna avatara, the Lord did not need to exert such energy. Therefore, Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. In other incarnations, the Lord had to exert some energy according to the time and circumstance. But in this form, he exhibited unlimited potency. So we hear about so many instances of Krishna acting according to time, place, and circumstance. This pastime in the palaces seems to be just a little microcosm. You can look into Krishna's world in each 16,000 palaces. You can look into his world and see his moods and how he's conducting all of the affairs, and take quite an example from that, actually. And then on the subject of duality, and we're adherents to the Achintya Bheda Bheda Tattva philosophy as propounded by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, simultaneously one and different. Obviously there's a different sort of duality in that set, but the dualities of the material world particularly are constantly happiness and distress, and that's played out innumerable millions of times probably throughout our lives in our mind. And there's a few quotes from Srila Prabhupada about this duality. A candidate for spiritual advancement must be nonviolent, must follow in the footsteps of great acharyas, must always remember the nectar of the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, must follow the regulative principles without material desire, and while following the regulative principles, should not blaspheme others. Devotees should lead a very simple life and not be disturbed by the duality of opposing elements. He should learn to tolerate them. That's the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 22, Text 24. I remember a while ago, His Holiness Sri Krishna Goswami gave me a very good instruction, which I remember each day. All we can do is tolerate and chant Hare Krishna. A devotee is neutral in all conditions of life, whether in the heavenly planets or hellish planets, whether liberated from the material world or conditioned by it, and whether blessed with happiness or subjected to distress. These are all merely dualities created by the external energy. Being influenced by the external energy, the living entity accepts a gross and subtle material body, and in this illusory position, he apparently suffers miseries, although everyone is part and parcel of the Supreme Lord. We're part and parcel of Krishna, and if we want, at any time, we can be with Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And all of those dualities, all of those differences just melt away. If we're taking shelter of the holy names on a daily basis, and we're trying to chant Shuddhanam, which is a lofty goal, but that's always the goal. We should continue to try. Then we can actually understand that these dualities they're nothing. They're blips on the map. They're just arising mostly out of our mind, right? Para dukkha dukkhi. They're just out of our mind. They're not of any consequence to us. And if we put those things into perspective, and have the Shastra Chakshus to understand, through the regular chanting, of course, hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam, hearing from the Acharya, Srila Prabhupada, then we can understand that those dualities they're nothing. These dualities are nothing. One whose mind, intelligence, faith, and refuge are always in Krishna, or in other words, one who is fully in Krishna consciousness, is undoubtedly washed clean of all misgivings and is in perfect knowledge in everything concerning transcendence. A Krishna-conscious person can thoroughly understand that there is duality, simultaneous identity, and individuality in Krishna. And equipped with such transcendental knowledge, one can make steady progress on the path of liberation. This is exactly why we can't waste time. We see so many, I'm sorry to say, devotees who just are wasting their time in thoughts of so many worldly things. And it's not even attractive. It's not attractive, these politics, these mundane things, all of these, all these problems. It's not even something relishable. Why not we all just immerse our consciousness, immerse all of our energy, instead of on Facebook or wherever, immerse all of our energy into actually trying to understand a little bit more about Krishna each and every day. Each and every day we should be praying, may I be as Krishna conscious as I am today, always. And then try incrementally to keep leveling up. Try to do those things which are prescribed besides chanting, which is Vaishnava Seva and Jiva Doi, where we'll actually be able to connect with other living entities and have the ability to share Krishna with them, try to share the holy names primarily with living entities. Wherever you go, just some incremental thing to try to level ourselves up. Because actually, as Prabhupada says, if the plane is going down and there's a loss of pressure in the cabin, we must first put the mask on ourselves, and then we can help others. It looks like quite a lot of persons, they're not remembering that primary injunction to save themselves first. They have to save themselves first, and it sounds like a selfish thing, but without saving oneself and having the the compassion for oneself, you can't give compassion out to anyone else until you get yourself in a state where you can actually be whole and wholesome. There was one other one. In the dual world, everyone is falsely trying to become the master of the world, Whereas in the absolute world, the Lord is the absolute Lord and all others are his absolute servitors. In the world of duality, everyone is envious of all others, and death is inevitable due to the dual existence of matter and spirit. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. I'm going to read that again. The Lord is the only shelter of fearlessness for the surrendered soul. One cannot save himself from the cruel hands of death in the material world without having surrendered himself at the lotus feet of the Lord. And that's how we can save ourselves. We can just simply surrender, and it's not so simple. And it's something that's happening, I would say, hour by hour, practically. Because sometimes, as we know, things in our lives, especially the pressings of the threefold miseries, Adi Atmik, Adi Baudik, and Adi Daivik, it makes us want to bug out and go crazy and run away or whatever, or lash out in different ways. But if we're actually surrendered to the Lord and understand that the Lord's doing whatever he should in our best interest, he's actually has our best interest in mind, and he's giving us what we need to become closer to him. We can't doubt that. We can't ever doubt that. Sometimes if we have a reverse in our lives, or we're having the pokings of the threefold miseries, we're subjected to some suffering, but, as we know, it's not going to last forever. Nothing lasts forever, We'll be suffering sometime today, but tomorrow will be a better day. And if we just sort of think about that in the way that Krishna is always guiding us, he's helping us, he loves us, he wants us to come back to him. He's not, we're here to reform ourselves so we can come back to him as a whole person, or as a whole soul. We're able to, put him first, surrender to him, and then he puts us first. It's a beautiful reciprocation. The sadhu has Krishna in his heart, and Krishna says, I have the sadhu in my heart. So he's always there for us, no matter what the dualities are, and no matter what time, place, and circumstance we're in. Because sometimes places and circumstances can get a little intense. But, we're fortunate that we'll, if we just remember Krishna, simply remembering, the 9 processes of devotional service, what's the first one? Smaranam. If we just remember him, or Shravanam, if we just simply remember him, then, third one, sorry. I think for me, remembering is the first one. Because even if I'm not able to do anything substantial at that very second, if the mind can immediately go to Krishna in whatever circumstance you're in, not even if you're able to chant or hear, because that's not always possible, chanting or hearing. But if you're immediately able to remember Krishna, and it's the speed of the mind, you can remember Krishna. I think of Radha Golokananda. I think of Lord Lokananda's lotus feet. And how sweet are those feet. And you can just simply think of that immediately, and everything is dispelled. It's actually also said, if you think of Lord Chaitanya, you can never fail in any endeavor. If you just simply remember Lord Chaitanya, you can't fail. So just remembering of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya, sometimes Lord Nrsingadev, in different time, place, and circumstance. We're golden, and that helps us to surrender more and more and more. And I'm sure everyone has an instance or instances where they've noticed if they just simply think of Krishna, then whatever problem they were having seems to just kind of fade into the background. It just kind of melts away. It's not so, overwhelming. It's not so horrendous for us. So just remembering the dualities of the world and our time, place, and circumstance, and remembering the lotus feet of the Lord, that's our basic, that's how we can move, and that's how we can save ourselves, is to remember those things on a minute-by-minute basis. Anything from anybody? Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Mm. Mm-hmm. Non-violent. Yeah. In our thoughts, words, and deeds. All the time. Jai. Thank you. Yes, Prabhu. Yeah. Well, what he just said, whole, creating being whole means, taking care of one's needs. So you're not, and also wholesome, like he said, thoughts, words, and deeds, Love, just being love, giving love, thinking of Krishna. Krishna is love, right?
Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Enam Kanvandam Maravindadalaya Taktam Varhavatam Samasitam Buddhasundarangam Kandar Agom Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Anganiyasa Sakalem Priya Priti Manti Vasyanti Panti Kayanti Chiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Samaniti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacha Nagini Visesha Shunyavade Masyajade Satarakai Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Krishna Chaitanya Shri Krishna Nayana Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Goloka Nana Goloka Nana Jaya. Nat, go looking na go looking na day. Nat, hey, day. Nate, nate, nate. Say right, hey, Jai Om Vishnu Pada.
few quick announcements. One is that this evening between 4 and 8 at Gajendra and Seema Kabra's house in Morrisville, there's a big kirtan. They do this kirtan a couple times a year, and it's really nice. So if you can come between 4 and 8, and it's the announcement's been sent out on WhatsApp. You can send it again. That'd be great. And then tomorrow is Thanksgiving. There'll be a kirtan between 12 and whatever when the feast is served out. So it'll be nice kirtan, nice Thanksgiving lunch here at the temple. And then on Saturday, it's going to be cold but sunny. We're going to be doing Harinam Sankirtan in Chapel Hill. We'll meet at the post office, and we'll do Nagar Sankirtan up and down the streets, and see who's there to hear. So that's the Harinam Sankirtan report. Chaito Darpanam Arjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairavya Chandrika Vitaranam. Beautiful. Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipanam Purnamrita Swadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatrapita Niyamita Smarane Nakala Etadrishi Tavakripa Bhagavan Mamapi Durdaiva Midrishami Hajjani Nanuraga Trinadapi Sunichena Tarorapi Suhishuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmani Ishvare Bhavadad Bhaktir Ahoitaki Twai Ainanda Tanuja Kinkaram Patitam Mam Vishamebhavam Budao Kripayata Vabada Pankaja Stita Duli Sajushim Vachintaya Nayanam Gadashu Daraya Varanam Gad Gadarudaya Gira Pulakarnishitam Vapukada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayatam Namishena Chakshusha Pravashayatam Shunayatam